I'm sorry, Natalie.
So this is 48-minute walkthrough of Cyberpunk 2077. Gameplay reveal.
That's a lot of
This
minutes.
was revealed at what, Gamescom?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the story of a girl.
Should have seen that coming. I didn't. It's kind of my fault.
It's your fault and you should feel bad.
No future.
Oh man, I already hate this game.
It's clear.
It looks like it's supposed to say other things. I don't know.
A narrative-driven,
Yes.
open-world RPG.
I hear this
set
is the
in a
same
dark
gameplay demo
version
they show
of
off
the
at
future.
E3 with
Before
a little
we
bit
start,
extra.
A small but important
Yeah,
that's
disclaimer.
what-
that
The
makes
gameplay
sense.
you're
The
about
that's
to
what like
see is
the
from a
people
work
who
in
saw that
progress
You could
version.
behind
definitely
closed doors
tell.
saw.
Everything you
Like,
see
it's-
is potential. Cyberpunk 20.
Riveting.
If you had to rate this game off the first 1 minute and 28 seconds that you've seen, what would you give it?
5 out of 7.
You heard it here first. Cyberpunk sucks.
Best game ever. 5 out of 7.
2 years before
Perfect
the game
score?
comes out.
5 out of 7?
You can't give you a release date, but
Features
we know
a
it's
fluid class system, and you'll be able to modify your class throughout the game. This
I do
demo
like that.
takes
The
place
class-
near the
oh, you guys
beginning of the
can't hear
game.
it.
V and her
You
friend
fucker.
Jack, along
They're
with
talking about,
hired
there's no
to
class system.
retrieve a missing person. A girl
No
who
class
is
system?
located
Is that
in
what it said?
class system, and you'll be able to modify your class throughout.
Oh, there is a class system.
Cyberpunk 2077 features
like,
a fluid class
you
system,
can always
and you'll be able to
rechange,
modify
you
your
know,
class
whatever
throughout the
changes you
game.
made last
This
week. You're like,
demo
oh, I don't
takes
like those
place
ones.
near the
Oh,
beginning of the game.
got it.
V
Now I
and her
understand.
friend Jack,
You can just
along
spec
with a
out.
netrunner named Teebs,
That's-
are hired to find and
that's-
retrieve a missing person.
Now I
A girl
understand what
whose
that means, no
locator
class
implant
system.
went dark.
Always clear.
Some of the
What's
some
in
of the
the
other
box?
stuff. Some of the other mod stuff later looks
Oh.
crazy.
Okay, things are about to get heated.
Wait, what were the options there?
Oh, well,
We'll take a reflex.
Hang on, let's see. It's the replay.
let's watch that
Okay,
guy.
things are about to
Oh,
get
that
heated.
was a sick kill. Let's see an instant.
Alright, takedown or hold for non-lethal
Oh,
takedown.
so you could've,
Let's take a
like-
vote. How many of you think she's gonna do a non-lethal takedown? Show of hands. Just me? And then she tases him.
There's just like parts in there.
We'll take a reflex
Yeah.
booster that
She shot him so hard his foot came out.
temporarily allows us to use the
She got
charisma.
asthma.
She's
That's
doing Jet.
Inhaler.
She brought it from Bethesda.
No, so this is like, let's not freeze frame it there. So this is like,
Oh, he's a body immediately.
Here.
So you can
she
like
shot him so hard he turned to giblets.
you can immediately like pick him up and drag him around or something.
Guns in the future can turn people into giblets from headshots.
Bang.
He was drinking some Kool-Aid.
He was making
she
some
scared him
jello.
and
He,
he-
was pouring the powder in, and then she was like, "What cherry jello, bam!" You heathen.
Everyone
She
knows
just gave him-
blueberry's the best.
She gave him a sleep slap, you know, where she just like presses the thing against his head and he goes to bed. He dropped his Jello though,
He dropped his jello.
so he'll be fine.
The first rule of Cyberpunk 2077:
Don't drop the Jello.
don't drop the jello.
We'll take a reflex booster that temporarily allows us
So this is her
to
doing
use the
Jet.
charisma.
So did you?
She's
did you
doing
hear what he
drugs.
said?
Does she do drugs? It's Jet.
Yeah.
It's not only is it Jet from like Bethesda's game set, you know, Fallout series,
Jet, yeah.
but it's Jet from the Dread movie.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So you're gonna. So she's taking this, which lets her use an ability called like Kalishnikov or something.
AK-47.
Yeah.
All right.
So AK Kalishnikov.
It's basically bullet time.
Automatic Kalishnikov.
It's bullet time.
So it looks like you're going to be able to give yourself enhancements, power-ups, abilities by doing drugs in that way.
Yeah, so you can like
Nice.
restore.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be a downside like there is in Fallout. Like if you use too many, you get addicted.
Maybe there's a way to circumvent it too, because they have
Because in Fallout,
have-
you have, like you said, Jet, and you can
they
use
have
those to
like
get
doctors
abilities.
that are specialty vendors, and you might have specialty vendors that have like hangover cures. So like, oh, I have like Jet hangover.
We'll take a
You know,
reflex.
like it's giving me like
Okay.
+2 stupidity or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know if you
whatever
guys
you want to
Things
call
are about
it.
to get
Yeah,
heated.
listen to the muffled gunshot.
It was underwater.
No, it's underwater.
That's pretty good.
That's
I
cool.
like that. I didn't
We'll take a
notice that.
reflex booster that
I know it's
temporarily.
muffled. I was like,
There's
oh,
a
that's-
helpful. There's a helpful
Things
Is
are
it
tip
the
at the
fifth or the
bottom.
sixth time he died?
This and
Lucky number
there's
7.
a helpful tip at the bottom in case you didn't know what you just
Enemy
did. You
killed.
killed someone.
Oh,
glad he's dead.
We'll take a reflex booster that temporarily allows us to use the Koreznikov.
There are
Koreznikov, not Kalishnikov.
Yeah, Koreznikov.
That'd be copyright.
There actually should be a lot of customizable HUD options, so you can actually really turn it down if you want to. So there's like next to nothing, or maybe it didn't specifically say that, but it seems like you can turn off a lot of things if you don't like it. I actually really like the damage counters.
You can't turn them
is
off. It was
Koreznikov.
confirmed. This is totally fine.
It's actually not so bad. I like the critical.
So she.
I like the critical damage indicators. I like the numbers. If you can change the color or anything, that would be fine.
So she puffed on the inhaler, which lets her use this ability.
What is it?
I wasn't
Pause
joking.
and Google that. Let's go check that out.
I genuinely thought she injected herself with like a needle. It was like,
Those damage indicators remind me of the Division. I mean, alongside other games, but the most recent example would be the Division.
Can't see shit!
This reminds me of some Rainbow Six Siege.
Huh?
Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah.
They have that
You
ability
can
to
shoot
shoot
through
through walls a
walls.
whole lot.
I'm
Yeah,
not
and they're actually going to
fucking
make use of that with more advanced software. You can shoot through walls. It's like,
I could comment right on the Modern Warfare, Call of Duty.
yeah, you could.
As far as I know, that's the first time I saw
Siege
it happen.
does a really good. It's for the. It's for like the competitive community, I guess. You know, like there's really kind of a cool following.
Yeah, I know
of them.
Siege does it way more.
They do it really accurately. So there's like the areas that you can shoot through, you can see what they are based upon the material they're made out of, and then when you fire through it, it leaves like they've made the damage where like one panel or one area that you can shoot through might have 100 little pieces that would break. You know, so it stays very in line with where you fire.
Nice.
So it's realistic. It adds to the cover. You know, you could do a couple of shots through the wall and it.
No, in a minute. Jacking into Biomon.
Checking into.
Damn.
Yeah, so you jack right into them and like you boot
Sandra
up into
Dorset,
their.
NC
Boot up their brain.
570442.
It's like their OS. Yeah,
Gotta win.
it's crazy.
The BIOS.
She will be if you
She's
get
got
into a
actually
hospital.
something
Trauma Team Platinum, too.
blocking her signal to trauma team.
Something's jamming the
TT.
Biomon signal. Talk to me, T-Bug.
Virus, probably. Locate her neurosocket. Should be a shard slotted in. Shit's probably on that.
So this is up to what I saw.
All clear.
Everything else
That
is
was
new.
trauma
Anyone
team,
need blood?
a kind of high-end premium medical
Don't
insurance.
have much time for what
So that would be
works.
really sick if you could do that.
We've
That would
delivered
be
the
sick.
target, and T has
all
notified
this
us.
So they
Just
said
got
it's
it.
a high-end.
That was
high-end
trauma team.
premium,
Yeah.
A kind of
medical
high-end
insurance.
premium
So this is like
medical
a high-end.
insurance.
So
This
it's
is
for,
a high-end,
it's for the one percenters.
So yeah, she was like a VIP, and then when they show up, they don't just show up as like we're, you know, an ambulance. They show up as like we're a force that also does like extreme medical. So they show up real quick and all that. Yeah, it's just absurd.
So does the whole trailer follow the woman?
Hold on, go back real quick. I want to see this. This guy's boxers has a magazine. There's a magazine.
Oh,
on
I
his
was thinking
boxers.
like Sports Illustrated, and I was like, how does that work?
It's the future. You
I
tell me
was
you
like,
still
the
have
future is a
paper?
strange place.
It's just like a giant shard that you stick in the back of your head.
Oh,
Just,
God.
I read the magazine.
Yeah,
You
the
pop
future
it.
will all have magazine-sized slots in our heads that we can just insert
I mean,
the magazine.
you
one
didn't see the
side
guy
in, out
later,
the other.
dude. The gang later on, they're missing like whole faces. They have like
Sick.
lights that are their expression. It's
Man,
it's
what
crazy.
was the last Deus Ex game was, I think, Mankind Divided or something, and the one before that was no, the one before that was that. This one was like Human something. Anyway, not the most recent Deus Ex game. That one wasn't that good, but the one before that dealt a lot with this kind of stuff. This is what this reminded me. I was expecting more.
Oh, I'm definitely doing this to myself. No, I'm just kidding.
I was expecting more like I don't know, crazy alternate. Like maybe there will be, but this is way more Deus Ex than I thought
This
it
is
would
a
be.
dystopian, dark
Which is what Deus Ex
future,
is.
and so it's like the free state of North California.
Yeah. So you have in Deus Ex, you have like there's basically 2 points of view, and one is, of course, I'm going to implant television directly into my brain and replace half my face to do so. Why wouldn't I? And the other thought of anyone who has technological modifications to
impure.
their body is impure,
Yeah.
or basically is like subhuman.
Yeah, this seems.
And
it
it's
seems like
ruining
you live in a
humanity.
society where you live in like the former of those groups, and like the whole society accepts that and lives by those rules. So it's just like hardware meets flesh, and it just like the lines get
So the whole
erased.
plot of the game, I think the new one is Human Revolution, and the one before that was like Mankind Divided or something. So basically, the main character gets given like cutting edge, not even available to the public, body modifications to save his life. He has no choice in this. The guy decides to do it, and your whole decision, your narrative playing the whole game as this character is, do I accept these modifications? Because the guy gives him sunglasses that pop down from his eyebrows. Like shit he doesn't need.
Yeah.
But then he can also like turn his right arm into a submachine gun. And it's like, so he's got everything. So you can either embrace this and be like, yes.
It's a weird mixed bag of like, and it oddly reflects life in general.
So the one choice you're given
It's
is
like his rebirth
yeah.
is like, it's just another life with another set of
sunglasses.
weird things.
Of course I want sunglasses in my skeleton. So like your choice narratively is, of
Wolverine's
course,
not cool enough. He doesn't have sunglasses
He doesn't.
that come out of his
he doesn't
skeleton.
have like bone
Yeah, it's
sunglasses.
just like-
Ugh. So your decision narratively is to be like, yes, of course, replace my legs with rockets and put bombs in my spine that I can shoot at people. Make my skin go invisible. I want to be able to smell pheromones, do all of this. And the other side of it is like, no, I need to retain my humanity. And doing all of this forgets that, because the people who are fighting him are these like crazy, like 99% machines kind
Yeah.
of thing. And it's like, does he become them to stop them? Or do you try and beat them as a human being?
As a lesser.
As a lesser person.
As a mortal.
So it looks like this is like there's I'm sure there's gonna be
No, not as a lesser person. As a person. Because if you're the other side, you're not.
by your standards, yeah.
So I guess
True.
a lesser person, but like not to insinuate that they are people and you're less than
a lesser
them.
person.
You
who
are
can
lesser
survive
and
a
also a
50-story
person.
fall and punch through concrete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's gonna be some of that. I'm sure you'll have people who don't like body mods, and you're gonna have people
Yeah.
like this who are like,
Maybe-
yes,
maybe there is a
please
convent-
give me a 12-month subscription to Sports Illustrated.
Maybe she's specifically talking about a convent or like some place where they
Maybe I
they
didn't
bar
even think
that
of
sort of
I didn't
thing.
even think that.
This also looks this scene particularly, if you keep watching it looks very. The situation is kind of like cold, I guess. But I mean, it is real life. It's supposed to depict a form of real life.
Chuck Taylor, you're still here. He's still doing work.
Hey.
Chuck Taylor's gonna be there in
Oh,
2077.
yeah. Actually, I wish I could buy some of the clothing that's in here, or like make it.
I'm sure you'll be able
It'd
to.
be super sick to have it before it comes out too. That'd be really dope.
So this was V.
Yeah. She 3 days later, she wanted a bender basically.
I was gonna say, she just looks like she woke up from a bender.
Cyberpunk is a mature, visceral experience, and as such, it will let you explore a variety of different
this smudge
interactions
look
with
on
the
his
game.
face.
And as you
This is
just
a cool
saw,
house though,
it's
or
people.
apartment or whatever. Reminds me of like 2002 pencil boxes. But
Jose,
like,
you can get a can of a fresh 24/7 for only 15 ES.
Yes.
The future's great.
those are eddies. Euro dollars.
15 ES.
I'm just gonna call
35
it
LUP.
A joy boy? Joy girl?
I don't know. 35 LUP for 10 ES. That's a deal right there.
ES. 35 liter up, Jose. Right?
Rain dance? Rain dance.
First member of the band, the myth, Johnny Silverhand. Been a year since he
Is this just her fridge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I need a vending machine in my fridge.
Never have to go out ever again.
No, they actually have vending machines outside too. No,
The job
I
was
think
a
she's
success.
just like got this little modular home or something.
I like the retro-looking radio.
Yeah,
That's still like way fucking high tech.
it reminds
Yeah.
me of Fallout a bit, or maybe.
It's very
what's that
Fallout
game-
Future
What's
meets
that game you
past.
like so much?
Hello Kitty Island Adventure 2?
Yes, that's. Wait, no, but also. The one that I hate.
Oh,
Whatever,
well.
just move on.
That's very specific.
And V obviously has some money to burn.
Jackie's calling. Oh, Jackie's.
Hey, Sophie, look, I need to talk to you. That nose is as big as my balls.
And I got a hot
So she
I'm gonna say that to someone one
got
day.
news as big as my balls.
I'm gonna say that to someone one day.
You can see on the eyes when you're talking to someone.
What?
You like have like this sort of like Google Glass
Yeah.
vision happening, so you like see them sort of zone out. And
I would absolutely do that. Yes,
Oh, for
replace
sure.
my eyeballs with mecha eyeballs that let me take phone calls.
Yeah, why not? Fuck
Do it.
A date with my Ripper Dog.
When I
And
say
she's got
no.
this like almost Andy Warhol-esque painting of a geisha on her wall.
There's like the old school bead sort of entrance there.
Balls.
And I got a hot date with my Ripper Dog.
Come on, Aina, make the dock wait. Pull some.
So Ripper Doc are these people who
Yeah,
do the.
they're basically
yeah, okay.
specialty vendors. Some that do black market stuff, some that don't.
Makes sense.
You're cool and get down here. Subway entrance.
I like this guy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I
Jackie
didn't
has
know
just
that's how you
told.
spell the word Haina.
That's how you
I
spell
thought it was
it.
spelled with an H.
Come on, man.
Jose, don't you speak Espanol?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I know how to spell it all.
Espanol.
True. I don't know why we're talking about that.
Pull some pants on your
You know,
culo and
because
get
I
down here.
couldn't spell Haina.
Subway entrance.
Yeah.
And your iron.
You idiot! We go back to Spanish one.
Jackie has just.
I like how she ends her phone
Make the
call.
dock wait. Pull some pants on your culo and get down here. Subway entrance. And your iron.
You just like rub your face.
Jackie has just told
Yeah, let's all do that
he
again.
has some big news for us, and we have an appointment with our Ripper Dog.
In Night City. All right, we live probably close to
Oh, I
where
like
Night City
78. Sunny.
would be. So where would Night City
Death at
be?
Lizzie Wizzy concert.
Lizzie Wizzy.
There was a death at the Lizzie Wizzy concert last night.
Well, how do you know the band
city
isn't
is crazy.
How do you know the band isn't called Death at Lizzie Wizzy?
Oh, God.
And it's just a breaking news. Death at Lizzie Wizzy concert.
God.
And you're like, I gotta go see Death at Lizzie Wizzy. You don't know that.
You're right. I don't know that.
Good.
I heard Heavy Source is opening for
Say
Death
the
at Lizzie
tech.
Wizzy.
Current environment. Night.
Before we leave,
It's out yours.
Wait, I'm sorry.
You guys are going off on some very strange tangents.
The current
I'm sorry, you haven't
environments-
heard of Heavy
The
Source?
current environments are morning, night, and brain dance.
I said brain dance earlier at the vending machine thing. There
What
was
does
a,
that
There was a
mean?
brain dance option.
Brain dance, please.
okay.
Please
It's
select
probably
the
like
brain
jacking
dance.
on from Futurama. You're like.
Jackie
Oh,
has
we're
just told,
bender. Yeah, I remember
That's
that.
probably what it is.
and we have an appointment with our Ripper Dog today.
Dude, I would love to be a musician in a fake band for a video game.
Right? What a dope, like, it would just feel like you are
This is
actually
like-
in the future, but you
Yeah,
don't
it's
have
like,
to
hey,
be.
I need you and your friends to write a song. It takes place in the year 2077.
We're gonna make an ad
You're in a
campaign
band
for
called
you.
Death at Lizzie Wizzy. I need you to write a song about how great huffing
They
is.
actually talk about how they took this, like, I think it's an older song and, like, kind of redid it. I think that's what they're saying here.
Dude, you know what this looks like? This looks like Bruce Willis's apartment in Fifth Element.
Yeah. It's exactly what I'm saying.
All he needs is the police position on the wall.
The styling is very much like what you would think futuristic looks like from our point of view today.
Yeah, look, it's even got egg chairs. That's so future.
No, this is actually kind of a retro. It makes me wonder if, like, maybe they overshot the future thing.
A surfboard, everyone knows the
Hold
oceans
on,
will
so
be irradiated to
I'm-
nothing by 2077. You don't need that.
It's a hoverboard.
That got me.
I wonder if they overshot the aesthetic. Did they actually go so far as to think that there's going to be egg chairs in the future because it's cool, or they're egg chairs in the future because it's
chairs. Jose, look.
because it's retro? Which one
There's
is
gonna
it?
be literal eggshells
Maybe
on
it's
the
just
floor.
comfortable, Jerry. Don't overthink things.
They're not
Shit.
comfortable.
Have
Everyone
you
knows
sat on an
that.
eggshell?
Everyone knows they're not comfortable. That's out of the question.
Touche.
Go grab our gear.
Yeah, everyone's got a gun locker closet. That's
Okay.
not future. We have those
I
now.
enjoy that it's soundproofed.
I like that she has cutouts for samurai swords. Damn. It's like, here's my handguns, my grenades, and here's my katanas.
We'll take these trusty pistols.
Federated Arms Vindicator, 79 DPS, 22 pints, 12 accessories, and 8
Rooftop.
raffles.
Oh, raffles.
No, damage per second, I don't know what PNT is, then probably
some-
accuracy and rate of
Are
fire.
those raffle waffles?
Raffle waffles.
Oh, dude, raffle waffles.
Okay, so they said that there was going to be heavy customization of your weapons, so that's cool. And I do like that it's going to be kind of stat-based, so you can like how Division kind of was with its guns. You're like, oh, this gun's going to do this much DPS, and it's going to fire this fast, and there's this many customizations, and this much recoil.
Dude, the advanced stuff goes really far. So
Nice.
this is the early
I'm super
area.
into that.
Then the end area, there are 2 or 3 mechanics that you'll notice that are pretty much brand new. Like, they are sort of pushing the genre forward. We don't have that in any game right now. The damage on these is pretty good. Some guns are a little more like, or some weapons are like melee. I guess I'll say there's like at least two bullet things, and then two other bullet things, and the bullet time thing, as well as a melee thing that they show off that are pretty dope. The 2 bullet things are basically.
And also grab
no
our
other
jacket.
game has that.
Since Cyberpunk.
Oh, this as well. This gives.
So you have street cred, which is an actual stat.
It also gives you other stats on top of it. So your jacket will give you like protective. It's like armor.
Increase street cred leveling speed by 5%, because your jacket is an indicator of your street cred, which determines like missions you can take and how people react.
It's
to you.
actually
That's so funny.
It's actually a pretty big deal. They go
It's
to
such a good idea.
They go to great lengths to show how this is all one quest and how multiple different points you could take a completely different route and have affected the way your options show up later. And there's like 3 or 4 major points where that happens throughout this one quest where you could do them entirely different.
I think it's just funny, like street cred, like it means something. Like it's not just a phrase, it's not just a dictionary definition. Like street cred is an actual thing. If you've lived there, if you've gone through those experiences, people will treat other people different based on the experiences they've gone through in their neighborhood, essentially. And it's like that's a real concept that people deal with every day. It's not just a thing. And so you're gonna have kids. You're gonna have like 15-year-old boys go up to each other in the like second period before the teacher walks in and be like, Jose, what's your street cred? Like a week after the game comes out, my street cred's 314. What's yours? Oh, I'm only a 256. Well, like, you didn't get the 5% boost to your street cred by putting the patch on your right shoulder.
Tell me, if you go over here around the corner and meet the drug dealer who'll give you this sweet pants and jacket that'll increase your street cred by like 20%.
That's the problem. My mom told me never to talk to strangers, so my street cred's gonna stay real
Someone
low.
who's played this like lawfully, be like, oh, there was a stranger there. My mom said
Look,
never
this
talk
is
to
a
strangers.
lawful good. Oh, I know I'm supposed to chase that guy, but the light's red, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotta follow the speed limit, guys.
27 is an
That's
RPG.
such a good
The
concept.
jacket not only
It's so
provides us
video
with
game.
protective
Like, they're
stats like
taking
armor,
some-
but it also increases
They're taking an abstract idea and they're like, let's quantify it.
detail in the world's lore, so everything has its
NCPD,
purpose.
Night City Police
and
It's
stays
going to be
believable.
like a 6-year development cycle.
There still doesn't have a release date.
Yeah, that's
I
what
would
it
be
is.
surprised if it came out next year. I would be very
It's
surprised.
2 years out, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's either going to be a
It's actually fully
quarter 1 or quarter 4 2020.
There are reports that it's fully playable from beginning to end, main quest at least, and like.
But that,
most
yeah,
of
they
the
did
quests
say
on the
that.
side.
That's official, but that's like without assets and stuff. Like the gameplay part and the story
Yeah.
part of the main quest is
Yeah.
done. But I'm sure you're just gonna have like
There's
texture
a
pending
A
textures
lot of polish,
everywhere.
a lot of polish needed, probably at this point.
And then it'll just be like dialogue goes here on your subtitles.
I do really like a lot
Bucka
of-
slice.
A big
That also sounds like
Bucka
a,
slice.
That also
the
sounds
shit, dude.
like an Atlanta rapper. Couldn't you see him as like the third member of like Outkast?
Bucka slice.
Big boy Andre
Featuring
3000.
Bucka
Are you going to
Slice.
the? Are you going to the Lizzie Wizzy death of Lizzie Wizzy? Death
Bucka
of Lizzie
Slice.
Wizzy? No, I'm gonna go see Bucka Slice on the same night. Unfortunately, they're
Form
part
of
of our
Outcast.
RPG.
This would be so weird. You walk out of your apartment and it's like a bunch of
This
shops.
looks like an
guy in
arcade
his
place.
robes
Like,
right
those
there.
are arcade
Yeah,
cabinets.
this guy's in
That
his
is-
fucking bathrobe. He
Guy
just
in his
came out.
robes right there.
I'm sorry, Jerry.
He's like, bro, I'm just gonna come out. I'm gonna play Hot Mess or whatever that's called.
The
Hot
experience
mess.
is having a world
Blend
that is
in.
interactive.
He's
this
an
is
advertisement
cool.
for the police.
A generic
This is
ad
actually
has
like a targeted ad at V, where it's like, get this cola.
morphed
It's
into an
actually called
advertisement.
Knee cola.
Like, part of me is like, man, that'd be really cool to walk out and have everything you need right in front of you. But the other part of me is like, dude, fuck that.
It'd be very city-like.
No, but it would be like you have no personal space anymore.
That's what I'm saying. This reminds me. This dirty city look reminds me a lot of Kowloon.
there's more room than there would have been in Kowloon.
Kowloon it's just an interesting aesthetic.
It shows us where to
It's very
find
Judge
some
Dredd.
This is like
Nyko soap.
yeah, it's like Kowloon, but like taken to a more refined level.
I was like, Megalobox Season 2 confirmed.
Yes.
Get him, Joe!
Look at that Nicola. There's newspapers? Why is there still paper?
Yeah, I feel like print media would have died.
Yeah. Why the fuck? There's even the old school like newspaper box. What the shit? Ah, yes. I'm glad I can buy my guns on a virtual wall.
Crime now mixes with money.
Dude, that guy's head is exploding.
That's how good the food is.
He ate a gusher.
One of Night City's biggest players, Dexter Deshawn,
Those
a
monks.
fixer,
Yeah.
a person who
Or
gets things
assassinos.
done. He wants to meet up and discuss a job. Let's see what he has for us.
Oh, it's Mr. T. Oh, he really loves
It's
you.
Rick Ross.
Oh, God.
Yo, it's Rick Ross!
He's got his Jordans on and he's got his cool arm. It's
C-3PO
like
arm.
super gold, yay.
Let's roll, Devil. You interested?
He's watching a fight on TV.
Interested, sure. Tell me more.
Okay, personally, this is what Fallout does. And even Mass Effect to a certain extent that I hate.
It says something, they say something else.
It says something, and you're like, I understand.
Go on, sing your song.
I understand my choice in terms of morality. I understand the choice I'm making in terms of what my person is going to say and how the tone is going to be taken. It's like, confirm, final answer. And then you do it, and they're like, would you call me bits? And you're like, God damn it, that's not what I wanted to say.
They don't.
I hate that.
They do. You do follow your
crap
dialogue
out of
pretty
you.
closely, and I will say that there are big differences, and it goes to become something else.
So she's saying, could we go on sing your song? I'm expecting her to say something that means that, and what she says is not related to that at all.
She does
Well,
say something like that.
it's the same message, but it's not what I was saying. Like, I want to know what I'm going
Oh.
to say. And there's games that do that. And I also like
It's
the color
pretty-
coding on
they
the choices.
do it pretty closely.
Fallout, I'm just going to compare this to Fallout a lot, I guess, that you have the yellow choices, and Mass Effect does this. You have your yellow choices and your blue choices, and it's like one color is going to mean this advances the story along, and the other color is going to mean this is extra information.
I
This
think
is like
this
lore.
is more. Yeah, there might be a lore version.
So how'd you find us for
I-
this?
I
Isn't
think
giving
it's-
him a yes and it's not giving him a no?
I think it's less of a this is going to advance the story, like about advancing the story, and more like this is going to. It's not just to move it forward, but it will move it side to side as well. I'm trying to emphasize that it will be like it's going to move it some direction.
It gives you
away
more
from-
information, maybe it gives you more choices, but the yellow choices are the ones that are going to advance your
Yellow
quest or advance
choices
your
for sure.
YOLO choices.
Start in the show.
So they don't need to tell you things anymore. They just give you everything you need to know on it.
See, you got a classic tale.
Yeah,
Got it.
shit, dude, it's awesome. It's like cut to a cutscene, and then you just go. It like shows you all that stuff.
Psycho Gang just doing its thing.
So he's basically gonna. You can just play it. He's basically gonna talk about a particular piece of machinery that he wants to pick up, and explain how they got it.
Start in the show.
And so your job is basically to go procure that, and you basically pick how you want to do it. The job is do it. So you gotta
See,
go figure that
got
out.
a classic tale. V!
Gonna play out with Dex.
It's all here.
All right. I'll check it out while I wait for you.
He just like zones out. You just see shit flashing. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty dope.
Dr.
Look at all those little kitties.
We're at a Ripper Doc clinic. Ripper Docs are specialist vendors.
You should see. Oh man.
I'm ready.
In like
Carve
20
away.
minutes, you're gonna see some crazy.
Now,
like
the fun stuff.
it's starting. It's actually getting to the point where they're breaking what
Right here.
what conventions are in gaming. Like what melee looks like. Kind of like way like Doom was such a big deal just because it showed like it was like gore and you could get a bunch of different guns and you could run through there, and it was just something that was available to everybody. This is going to be available to people as well, and it's going to hopefully push the boundaries as to what every other developer is like. Oh, this is what the table looks like now. Now I have to cater to
Let's
this.
see what's up.
Just like that.
That looks fun.
I mean, imagine other developers going to this
Friday
like
night.
Okay.
Imagine Assassin's Creed, like when you upgrade something, you
Feel
have to do
anything?
something like this. What if they like realize, oh, we have to push boundaries and we have to do more than
Duh.
what we've been doing?
Play by play.
He's doing like LASIK on you, basically, with his hand.
So let's test it. Linking you in.
Seems sanitary.
Oh god.
You might feel a little discomfort, maybe low vision, low contrast.
So you're actually hooked up to the eye. He picked up the eye. Now he's gonna put it in you. You're like you started your vision on the table and then come over to your face.
I don't like
It's really strange. The immersion level is like 100.
With the scanner, we can zoom in on things
This
and
is
take
really
a
cool.
closer look.
That ability would be amazing.
The subdermal weapon grip links to our
it
scan
brings up
and shows us weapon information like ammo
it
count and
brings
fire.
up like HUD information.
It also increases the base.
Oh, on the bottom left.
New sight.
The subdermal weapon grip links to our scan and shows us weapon information like ammo count and fire.
So that's kind of cool. Okay, you've always had your ammo count,
You can take.
but now they've turned it into a narrative mechanic.
Yes, exactly.
You've always been able to see the amount of ammo. I remember when Halo probably wasn't the first game, but I remember in Halo where you could see the amount of bullets you have left on
Right.
the gun.
This is
And
super.
I was like, what?
This is a very streamlined way of having the modular ability to turn off certain HUD components, but now you have like a narrative reason to go do it.
Right, yeah, you've always been able to enable and disable
It is like
HUDs,
the
especially on
perfect
PC
blend.
games. But now it's a story thing. It's like, you want to see your ammo count? That'll be 1,200 credits.
But I mean, you're gonna play the game and get 1,200 credits. They'll give you
I like
freebie
it.
shit.
It's cool.
Fire rounds. It also increases the base damage on all connected weapons.
Oh, there you go.
Not bad.
So it is actually a boost.
I don't know what to say.
Oh, I thought we were gonna check
Look
out
at that
Jackie's
like
legs. actually.
Batmobile go by. Did you see that? And then this is
This
the
pendejo.
this is the Quadra that they showed in the previous advertisements.
Dude, parked on the
This
sidewalk.
thug
That's
guy's,
his
like, looking
problem.
at it.
This
too.
guy looks an awful lot like one of those scavengers
Oh, actually,
we took out
yeah.
earlier.
That dude is a bad hombre.
Bad Wolverine.
I feel bad using that term just because there are other
That's
people
so.
that use that. And it's
That's
not
so
good.
80s.
It's like
Where the car door
80s
opened?
It's like
No,
100.
like
This would
steering
be a
wheel.
100-year-old aesthetic. This would be 100 years old.
Tells
nearly.
me there wasn't no coincidence.
It's an 80s idealistic future.
Yeah, that's
I
what
wonder-
that's what I was saying about earlier. Did they overshoot the aesthetic by?
No. This is exactly what they were going for.
No. I'm saying if we were to fast forward real time to 2077.
Oh,
what it would look
absolutely.
like then.
2077,
So-
the world is going to be almost exactly the same as it is today. There'll
So
just be new. No one's going to be going around with implants in their
So
fucking
this is
skulls
what
like
this is
this.
what. No, well, you never know.
Technological scientific progress is halted because
But this
of
is
the amount
why
of wars that
this is
everyone
why I
in.
selected
That's where all
the
the money's
egg.
going.
This is why I selected the egg chair
Preach
and not
it.
the Quadra or other things. The egg chair we've seen before, and the egg chair could
The
come
egg
back.
chair is forever,
now,
Gary.
now, did the egg chair come back?
Egg chair is forever.
Did the egg chair come
Don't
back
doubt it.
as a natural? Like, no, this actually looks good now. Like naturally, like
always
it wasn't
looked good.
good then, but it's good now.
Well, when the United
Or is
States
it coming-
government is run by IKEA, egg
Well,
chairs are going to be
okay,
everywhere.
what I'm saying is, did they pick it as a retro because they actually like it now, or is it retro in a like ironic way?
No, it's part of the aesthetic now. I don't think it's. I don't think there's
You
anything
think they
ironic.
actually like?
Yeah,
Okay, you think this is the wave of the future now?
it's 100 years old now.
Macroware.
Turco.
It's in again. 'cause it's
Jackie's
retro.
car is a super.
Well, that's what I was asking though. Which version of retro?
It's,
Is it ironic retro? Like it's
No.
bad, it's good, or is it like I really like it now and I like that it's retro?
that one.
Okay.
I want to know how the driving works. Is it like open world? Like, do you actually control it? Could I crash this into
I
people?
think you can.
That'd be great. I mean,
I can GTA this.
I think it's
can,
like GTA 5.
I can run lights, or is it going to be like it is in Final Fantasy, where you can go forwards and backwards?
No, I think it's
and
more.
the steering is controlled
I
for
think it's
you.
more like 5.
Hey,
Also, I
the
don't like
steering
that
is
it's
not fucking controlled for you. That shit is very complicated when you're stoned.
But it's still controlled for you.
I drive fine stoned while I'm playing GTA 5, so.
That's easier, but not Final Fantasy. That shit
Jackie's
is
car is a
overcomplicated
Yeah,
when you're stoned.
weirdly, like the
Powered sports car
simplification of
running
Yeah.
driving made it way too
The super
complicated.
Yeah.
Complicated. It was so complicated. I couldn't say
Players can
complicated.
explore Night City freely.
Whoa.
does not look
I
good.
do wish my car had the like projection.
Cars nowadays do have that.
Well, but
It's
not
very
readily
expensive.
available.
Yeah, you mean like
It
every
is
car.
readily. It's available at the consumer level. It's just on higher end
Yeah.
cars.
That's what I mean.
Check out
it's
this-
not readily available.
Check out
I
this
see what you're
wiring
saying.
that's like exposed over here because modern culture is like a thing.
It's a good point.
So those are the scabs that we were, that were looking at our car.
Grab the wheel, Jack!
Oh man.
I think we got rid of it. That was intense.
I love how he
Man,
said
I couldn't come up with like I was like, how do I feel? I can't describe this. He nailed it.
that was intense. I actually laughed out loud when I watched
Thanks,
that.
narrator.
He's just doing his job.
There are a few,
Jack from Overwatch.
there are a few other
We
moments
got
like
rid
that
of
in this video.
That was intense. Danger lurks around every corner.
This is the exact spot from the photo. They released the promotional
Yes,
photo of the
he's
game.
right.
Oh.
in daytime. Random encounters like these are an example of how your
I
actions
don't like
direct
how the van's gone. I think it's gone in that.
Could have gone away.
Night
I think
City
it-
never
no, it
sleeps.
blew up. They're
Danger
dead.
lurks
Should be
around every
there.
corner, even
Like
in
how there's
daytime.
no
Random
repercussions.
encounters
I gotta
like
look for things
these
that
are
I
an
don't like, and I
example
don't
of
like
how
that.
Your
That's
actions
over there.
Oh yeah, it is. It's on fire back
directly
there.
Oh, it is. Okay,
influence
for
your
sure.
open
Alright. I
mindedness.
do like that.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
With our freshly installed Kiroshi optical scanner.
Nice.
Let's take a closer look.
Fresh.
Composite
Chevalier. Model Chevalier. It's a
armor.
Chevy Cavalier blended into.
Oh.
Yeah.
Everyone said Chevalier was dead.
Wanted. You're smart. Something to blackmail me, bitch. Set conditions.
Calm the hell down. What is
I
this?
got you now, asshole.
I like how the subtitles are all freaking out because she got clubbed over the head.
Yeah.
Blackmail me, bitch. Set conditions.
It'll be like
Calm
that.
the
for a
hell
minute.
down. What is this?
Got you now, asshole.
She thinks he's evolved some other way than she is.
You got the like red edges.
So is Jimmy Cricket gonna be in your ear when you're actually playing? or
Yes.
No.
Uh,
That
or
would
is
be.
You finished your car
intense.
crash? That was intense.
Be so intense.
Or is that just for this video?
That's just for the gameplay walkthrough.
Just for this intense gameplay walkthrough.
bitch. You're dead.
Somebody shut him up.
Cause your new best friend from the
Someone
tricked
call
out,
the devil
tanked
from
out
now on
SUV.
Trip 6.
Just begging him to try.
Trip 6.
I-
I didn't get that when I read it.
Almighty Trip
Even now, you can choose how to. They don't shy away from even the most extreme measures.
That's why she called him. That's why he called them Borgs, because they're saying they don't even shy away from the
Yes.
extreme.
No, this is
body
what I was
mods.
talking about. You're going to see these guys, and then you're going to see the advanced hardware you can use. These guys are nearly not human.
It's a mine.
Yeah.
Fucking tricked out. State of the art, this thing. Don't even got no standard port.
So this is that hardware they're talking about. It's like this spider bot thing.
What is he doing to his face? What happened to his eyes?
Which one?
This guy. I paused it like.
Go back?
Tricked out.
No, he's
State
gonna
of
do it
the
right
art,
now.
this thing. Don't even got no standard port. Bells and whistles, though.
Oh yeah, so now he's viewing from that angle, and he'll even sort of.
Those other eyes turned off.
He's gonna
Damn.
go over on the ceiling, and he kind of like.
Spoilers, Cherry.
What? It's invisible. The human nervous system.
It can.
Its actuators are actually
camouflage
pimped
itself.
with titanium fiber, and it can go anywhere. Shit.
Check this guy on the right.
The guy's fucking dead.
Right.
The inspection system allows us to take a closer look at the splinter. You can inspect specific items to reveal details that can help in solving quests.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it even tells you specs. Like this one says it neuron synapse overload, neuron damage are possible during the neural bridging process. So it's got.
Likely symptoms include user disorientation, muscle spasms, auditory hallucinations,
It's
and
like
flashes
overclock.
of light.
It's like an overclock chip, you know. Blown to bits. Head and arms gone.
See ya.
One of the new weapon modules
Oh,
we now
what
have
the shit.
is a
Ricochet
ricochet
ability.
targeting system connected to our eyes.
So your brain.
This
can
allows
process the
players
ricochet.
to bounce bullets off walls and hit enemies hiding behind cover.
That's huge.
The toughest
So
bastards
like with the
guarding this
shotgun or with other guns, we might have talked about this real quick, but there is a way to fire a normal weapon.
Oh,
or
he
a normal
talked about that,
bullet,
yeah.
Yeah, and then an upgraded shot.
He
so
mentioned that.
say like with the shotgun, that might be major. You know, because you might be able to double your damage real quick. Watch what he's about to do here with this new weapon.
Oh, they said they track, right?
Yeah. So it like curves around.
He
that
said you
wall.
lock on and it tracks.
And when it stops locking on one, it just moves in that range. But they pointed out here.
Jesus Christ!
His head explodes before he finishes saying it. But he loses his legs. It's very explicit.
That's so fucking funny.
So you can shoot limbs off and stuff.
Everything you've seen
I
and are
love that
about
they put
to
a
see,
slow-mo effect on that.
including this
Yeah,
particular
added some,
feature that I can show
what's
you.
it,
That's
Kalashnikov,
Kalashnikov or
Crystal
something.
Knox, like, what is it? I don't know what I'm even saying.
I think it was Karishnikov or something.
Okay. I'm gonna call it like the...
But we've got the bot, and Dex should be happy. But think back. What would have happened if we hadn't met with the Militech agent? Or told Royce about the agent and her plans? Or just decided to buy the bot ourselves? So many options, so many possibilities. And each will have consequences that will
So you might have had
ripple through the
50k
game.
credits already, didn't need to involve the Militech
Yeah,
person.
I mean the problem with a design system like that is like you can. I'm gonna use Payday as an example here. Like, let's say your mission is to rob a bank, and as a game developer, all you need to do is put the bank there and design some mechanics, some security systems, some
that unlock
time
at a
gates
certain point.
some
Yeah.
time gates
Yeah.
to stop the player's progression, and you let the players figure out how to do it. It's like a puzzle.
It's a time
How do
gate
we want to
and/or-
attack this? When you do it in narrative as a gameplay element, the players always think of things that developers don't. So the players will be like, "What if I do this?" And you try this, and it doesn't work, and it's disappointing.
Yeah, because it's not as fleshed out as you want
So,
it to be. Now, if they
it
did
creates
think
a
of
big
everything,
problem in that.
if you think of everything or enough things that it's super fleshed out, which takes a lot of work on the developer side, it gives the immense immersion feeling that they're going for. The feeling that there's just depth after depth after
Right,
depth. Like,
but-
I could pick up a magazine and there would be information in it that would be semi-useful and not just like complete fluff.
Or you could want to do that, and you pick up a magazine and there's nothing pertaining to your quest, and you feel disappointed because you can't believe they didn't think of this such simple thing, right? And it creates...
It's just a lot of work to do something like that. But
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
It is possible to put magazines or small details like that in and have them be super relevant to what you're doing.
But the point is, they always make these claims, so many possibilities, so many different ways, and then you sit down
I
and you
agree.
think of something
They
that you
do,
want to do, and
yeah.
it's not possible within the
So,
framework of the game
I feel
because
like-
they didn't consider that option.
I agree that it's totally a possibility. It's on the table right now that this game could have that. Then again, this game has had... It's going to have, what, a 6-year, maybe 7-year cycle
Yeah.
on development? And most games don't get that. They'll get half that, if
Mm-hmm.
half that. So maybe they really did spend a lot of time just like dotting their I's and crossing their T's.
At that point, then I'd say the problem isn't they didn't think all the things, and now the game's disappointing. It's more of like they're telling you, "Hey guys, we're gonna give you the moon, and it's gonna be kick ass." And someone's like, "Yo, I expected Jupiter." Yeah, like we told you we're giving you the moon.
Like,
you got the moon.
you could have
and like,
No
but I
Man's
wanted
Sky.
There's
Jupiter.
definitely misinterpretation
So
there,
it's like that's your
but-
problem then.
but-
Just suck it up, Buttercup.
That's one way a community do it, is that the people want something that's not presented. Like, they basically, like, oh, I'll be able to do this, and they're jumping to conclusions. But it's like when they say, like, there's going to be so many different ways, it comes to it that someone's going to come up with a narrative way that they want to do it. Not just like an exploit, like, oh, I bet you I can no-clip through this corner if I put a bucket on his head. And
If there was
it's not like that, but it's like in a narrative
around.
way, someone's going to come up with something, and it's like, what if I call this dude and kill this dude, and blah, blah,
Yeah.
and they're not going to have thought of that.
Maybe not, yeah. I will say that there are, not only just potentials, but there's already limits. This is going to be an RPG single player, am I right?
Yeah.
It's going to be like top, like world class for what, supposedly it's going to be like world class for this genre. I mean, Witcher 3 basically is.
I mean, Witcher 3, I think, if you just do the story, it takes 50 hours to
It's
complete.
really long for a story, and it's as deep as they come. Essentially, this is like going to be
Game world
top
and
notch.
your story.
But I do wish it was like there was some ability to do like MMO RPG, like meet with friends and stuff like that. Have the connectability side. Maybe not have it be linked to the storyline at all. It'd be cool if you could even just like only do normal day-to-day stuff with your friends in the city. Like you could like watch a movie or go to a vendor, like whatever.
You can
It's
do
just
those
not
in real life,
mission-based.
Jerry. You don't need video games for that.
But I want to live
That's like thing. If I
wanna
needed a
live
video
in
game
North
to play,
California.
Head
Oh, wait,
out.
I live in North
Out
California.
and finish the job.
Your chip had the clap. That's not discreet.
Dang.
Oh, no.
I fucked you over. You fucked the game.
We finished the job, but our story is just beginning. This concludes our gameplay demo walkthrough. Thanks for watching.
That's that pretty much. What do you guys think overall?
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
dude, I'll go first.
How's
I'm
it
gonna say it right now. I saw the first 10 minutes of this before this, and immediately I was like, eh.
Really?
I really didn't care. I was like, okay. I was like, especially because I saw the trailer and everyone was like super hype about it, and we're like, hey guys, this game's gonna be great. I saw the first 10 minutes and went, really?
What about it?
All
Was
right. It looked just, your average FPS game, RPG FPS game. I was kind of just like, oh, okay, whatever. Like nothing groundbreaking was in it. Nothing like super amazing. Like that was the first 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I started watching this, and again going through. I'm like, yeah, this style's pretty cool. I was like, yeah, I like how everything looks. I like the customization is cool. And then we saw some more gunplay, and I went, oh, this actually does look really cool because they showed off more of like sliding around and everything. The ricochet was really cool.
The double jumping.
The fact that all these guns were very
smart bullets.
Yeah, the fact that he's like, here's a gun that just tracks. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
just
not
gotta
too
stay
bad.
within a
It's probably
range.
OP is all crap, or maybe
but
they
it's
do
also
something.
advanced.
But
It's
it's like, this is
expensive and hard to
cool.
get,
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is really cool. And seeing all this like customization options, like, oh yeah, no, the customization actually looks really cool. They went in depth with it. I like that. There's very much an RPG element to it. So after seeing all that, I went, okay, I'm on board. Let's go with
For
this.
an RPG,
this is looking really cool.
It's looking like AAA type title where it's also going to be
the
top of the.
And part of the reason I really like
RPGs.
that gunplay is because it's like when I started playing Doom. When I play, because if you think about FPS games, especially like Call of Duty, I think Video Game Donkey just said it so well when he said Doom was like one of the top 10 games from last year. Is that your table Call of Duty? Here's how it goes: you go to cover, you go bang bang, okay, he's dead. Go to the next cover, okay, bang bang, he's dead. Go Doom is just like run the fuck around, kill people, glory, kill, yeah, fuck you,
Which
take
feels
this,
good.
and you're like, this is awesome. This game was doing a lot of that, where she was like, I'm not gonna go cover, I'm gonna
kinda
run
in
here,
between.
slide,
It
go
was
here,
like, it
go to
gave
cover.
you,
Yeah,
it gave you the extra options you don't have in even say Battlefields to do the most glorious of things. Because
you were like ripping people apart, but you were still like, let me slide here, shoot
so
here,
Battlefield's
go here.
really good for it feels good when you can get a glory kill, but it's harder to do because there's certain limited options and it's a sandbox system. Call of Duty can kind of be the same way, except for the ones that are set in the future, which have the crazy jumping abilities. But basically, a lot of the games end up being like pop from cover, fire, go to next cover, pop, fire. That's getting old essentially. We're past that. So having the ability to run really like
it's
basically
more fun.
it's like
fast-paced.
GTA has I think Michael. So Trevor can like slow down time. He kind of has like a bullet
It's
time.
Franklin. He
Franklin
slow
slows
down.
down time.
He slows down time while
Oh, he
driving.
slows down driving.
While driving.
Michael slows down while shooting.
Yeah,
Trevor
while
just goes
shooting
into a
goes
rage.
into a rage.
and gets like
Which
a
is all-
damage
those
buff
all-
and like he
yeah.
takes less damage. But like you see how that they in GTA 5 they put it at each character just to give them a little flavor. In this game they took similar ideas and put them all on one character to give you like instead of only forward, back, left, and right. Now you've got 4 other directions that sort of in between. I'm making a metaphor to say that your options are way expanded. So you can run over here, slide on this guy, shoot him in the back, and then whip around and kill the second dude. You can actually hack somebody if you've got advanced enough tech to stop them from being able to
That's all
access their
super
gun.
cool.
The
So-
only like complaint I have is they showed a lot of choices you can make in combat, but they showed off almost none of the actual RPG system. And he said this is an RPG like 15 fucking times, and they showed like 2 menus of the RPG. And it's like, yeah, you can make combat decisions and change how combat works. That doesn't mean your game's an RPG. So yes, they showed how you can change the mission.
What menus did you mean that?
They showed off the menu where she's picking what mod she wants to buy. Like,
They
obviously,
showed
she's
that
just going to
as
pick the
okay.
eyeball and the subdermal grip for the walkthrough because that's what they want. But, like, they're trying to show you, look, there's more choices. And then when they were going through character customization, you saw a little bit of it there. But in terms of how they said they have a fluid class system, they didn't talk about that at all.
So here's where the RPG comes in, is where when you make a decision when you're talking to somebody, like the Militech Lady Stout, whatever you decide to do there, that's the RPG moment. Where it splits,
Non-RPGs have that game. What makes an RPG is that you can roleplay as a character in all aspects of the game. And it's like, yeah, you're gonna be able to do that. They just didn't show it. And I'm not knocking it for that. I'm just saying I need to see that.
Maybe
because he just said, like, I don't think I'm exaggerating if he said, yeah, and he said it 5 times. This is an RPG, and they didn't show it.
Is the FPS market larger than the RPG market?
Absolutely.
So they're probably just marketing the FPS market up front.
I guarantee you this is deliberate.
This is also the first gameplay reveal after we have a ton of critics going, yo, guys, that gameplay reveal we saw it behind closed doors was kick-ass.
If this wasn't an RPG and it was just a narrative-based, like, first-person shooter with customization, I would still be like, dude, that gameplay, the gunplay, the customization, hacking, that all looked really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
But he said, this is an RPG, everything they said, this is an RPG, show me the class system, show me my abilities, show me how customization works, do I have action points, how does all of that work? And not that they didn't, obviously they didn't show that, not that that's a knock on them, I can't believe you didn't show this, I just need to see that next. Because now I'm just like, oh, this looks really good. This looks really cool. This looks really polished. Show me RPG. Show me that. I need to see
the under the hood stuff. The intricacies.
Yeah, I need to see. I need to see. How does it work? Are there stat points? Are you doing a Fallout system with points? Is this huge, crazy RPG
I get a sword
stats?
with 1 accuracy and go right up to him and slash. Yeah. Will I miss?
Are we doing that kind of stuff? Like, what do the different numbers do? Damage per second? Okay, how is damage calculated? How is that's what an RPG is? And there's different levels of that, but you need to show more of that than, yes, I decided to give the guy the credits.
They might have thought menus were a little boring.
So yeah, I wouldn't.
This was entirely deliberate. I'm not saying it was left out, like, oh, we forgot to show that, but, like, that's coming.
This is how they wanted to come
This is how they wanted to reveal the game. They wanted to show, look at all this cool gameplay.
For sure, and it is cool.
Yeah. But it's just for them touting it as an RPG, like Vanessa said, if you're advertising it as such, you need to show that.
I would agree.
Especially that, like, if this is the first, like,
this is literally the first look to the public.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that should have been highlighted a little bit more.
I would have liked it to be highlighted a little bit more.
The public, although just looking at the popularity of what's come out, essentially, the public enormously loves this. I think it's at like 1/3% or something of dislikes on the video. It's 300,000 likes to
5 million views,
4,000 dislikes
in 2 days. Yeah.
281,000 likes, 3.9 K dislikes.
Yeah.
Thumbs down, I guess.
It's like the dislikes ratio is like 1/75 of the like rate of the likes.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit.
This looks really cool. Things I liked were the gunplay looked really cool. I liked that she could slide around. I didn't like that. I mean, I did like that there wasn't an active cover mechanic. I'm really fucking tired of active cover mechanics. I've had 5 Gears of Wars and like millions of Call of Duties and everything.
And pop around something.
No, like where you lock to cover.
Yeah, this one doesn't lock.
Yeah,
you can just walk up to something. Sandbox games like Battlefield don't have that problem.
I would much rather.
Actually, the newest Battlefield ones have fixed it to the point where it's actually really good.
Yeah.
So you can walk up to something and fire around a corner, but if you walk up a little closer, as soon as you go to fire, it'll automatically do a shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no like choosing. It's just when you're near a corner, it does it. Because
and you know that. You know that's going to happen. And you're like, okay, I can push forward.
It's very
now
predictable.
And I'll peek.
Very predictable.
Or you can lean on your own. Right.
Yeah, completely useful.
I like that. I like that it didn't have a cover lock mechanic. I like the different ways to approach combat. All the abilities seemed cool. I want to know more about like the RPG stuff. Like I said, I want to know more about how the drugs, the inhalers work. They showed one that seemed to be recreational, and they showed another one that was giving her that bullet time feature. I'm sure there's going to be more of them. I want to see that. Are there going to be negative side effects of that? Other things I liked was the driving seemed cool. One thing I want to point out is obviously you can switch to third person when driving. And I want to kind of, why would they have decided to do that? They're making a huge deal on how this isn't just a first-person shooter, and this isn't just a story. This is a whole role-playing game where you create V and you play how you want to, and it's your story, and you're immersed. And first-person is obviously the best way to do that. When you're driving, you can switch to third-person.
Probably for visibility and for like almost like gear shotting.
But my whole thing is, if it's I'm not saying I agree with the third-person choice. I guess I should start with that. But if you're going for full,
you are saying you agree with the first-person choice.
I like it. Thumbs up to
the way that came out was you said I'm not, and then stopped.
Yeah. Thumbs up to the choice to let you do third-person while driving. I like that decision.
Yeah, I
but
agree with that too.
If you're going for full immersion, you don't allow that.
They seem to basically
leave it first-person.
They were thinking like full immersion, but at this one small segment or things we're going to allow.
Why did they allow that?
Right? Idealism versus practicality, essentially.
Yes,
it's kind of like
I agree with that.
It's kind of like way back when I found out
this is what they want.
When Assassin's Creed 3. It was either 3 or 4. I don't remember which one it was. I
Four
think it was
is Black
I think it was
Flag.
4. I think it was
4
4.
is Black Flag.
I think it was 4 when that one came out. There was a mod you could do on PC where you could make the smoke super high definition and more realistic looking, but it just made whenever you put smoke, you couldn't see your character. And people were like, wow, this is a cool mod because it looks great, but like I can't play this now because I put down a smoke bomb and I'm like, where's my guy?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It was like, yeah, first person immersive, let me drive your car. But some people, when you're playing a game and you're driving a car, you're just kind of like, I
It's
really
like real
can't
driving,
see.
where you're like, this is hard.
So the thing is like driving. I've done this, and you kind of need to do it to understand what I'm talking about. But like playing a driving game in VR is basically like driving a car because half of driving is you're not locked looking in front of you. You're checking all your mirrors every couple seconds. You're turning your head.
What?
Yeah. Especially if you're racing, you're looking out your windows, right? You're watching the curve ahead of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I'm talking about in a game.
No, I just didn't hear you.
And
Oh, you mean game?
But so it's like if you're racing, you're not going to be looking just in front of you. You're going to be trying to find out.
I'm
where
usually
the
looking
cars
behind
are.
me when I'm racing somebody.
Exactly. Who's not sitting in reverse cowgirl position, driving with their feet?
Reverse cowgirl.
So
You're straddling the seat
backwards.
You're backwards straddling the seat, driving and facing and like watching them in your.
You
Well,
just
not even
flip them off as you're
you don't even watch in the rear view. You just watch them through the back.
Dude,
window.
watch them. It's the most intimidating thing is when the guy in front of you turns around to stare at you
right before you crash
while
and
doing
die.
while doing a hairpin turn. You just lose all,
While
you lose all
drifting.
your motivation.
While drifting a hairpin
I'll never
turn.
be this good.
Drifting the hairpin turn.
Anyway.
You gotta throw it in his face.
Drift king it. Anyway, so driving in VR is first person. Obviously, works really well. You never feel limited. You never feel like you're missing out on something. Driving in first person without being able to look like that
Feels like you're missing a lot of
feels
things.
like you're missing a lot of things.
Because in
I
driving,
think,
you kind of are.
yeah. So I think the decision to make it third person was because they wanted a certain feel for the game. When you're driving, they want you to feel like an action hero. You're chasing cars. You're fucking looking out the window. And when that's happening, obviously it switches to first person.
Here's
and you
what
lean
they
out
here's
to
what they
shoot,
were
but
thinking.
It was a type of feel that they wanted the player to have.
It's actually, I think, the exact opposite of that. Where
Never mind.
well, it's actually the same vein. I think what they were thinking was, we don't want a particular feel. We don't want you to drive this in first person and be like, why is this shit in my way and it's really annoying. So they're like, oh, if we make it effortless, like you don't notice that you're allowed to do third person, and you just make it available and we don't talk about it a whole lot and be like, oh, blah, 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 you know, some fluff piece about it. They just said it's not all first person. Then when it came to the driving portion, they added the third person thing. It's what you wanted and needed for that section, so they just made it available.
Yeah.
And that classifies it a little bit differently, so that's why they said those statements before. What they really don't want is that bad experience, so that way you're like, oh, why is it so cramped? You know what? Click. And then you're like, oh, that's better, and you just drive away.
The decision, I think, was there to... Driving in video games is, like, very finicky, and people are often split on it. Dude, I love these controls, or dude, I hate these controls. There's never someone like, these controls are okay.
Why not have, why not have both?
Yeah, so they're allowing
all
someone to
those.
keep that immersion and be like, how fast am I going?
If that's
44
what you
mph,
want.
you gotta drift this with a
Yeah.
5% taking the each side grain, and then the
Sure.
other person who's just like, whee! I want to drive in first person for immersion. It's gonna be times when I'm gonna be like, the corpos are on my ass, and I put it in
Like
third
third,
person and
like-
press the turbo button. I like the
They're
you can
just
tailor
they're
the experience
allowing
there,
for
yeah.
like the free flow of playing the game to be as free as possible.
So things I didn't like. Obviously, I liked the gunplay and all that. Things I didn't like are, again, not that this is a knock on them, but I didn't see enough of the RPG stuff. They made a big deal, and this next point is not something we'll be able to verify until we play the game, but they made a big deal of, choose your own adventure. It depends how choose your own adventure it is.
You start with
It
a
could be-
backstory.
Yeah, but like if it's gonna be like a situation where someone's like, here, if Rick Ross gives me a job, and I'm like, oh, you got it, Rick Ross. I'll meet you at Wingstop afterwards, and because he owns 40 Wingstops.
C3P Ross.
C3PO Ross, yeah. Rick 3PO gives me a job, and how do I approach it? Well, if they've basically said, here's how they're gonna approach it, and flowcharted it, and I can't freeform approach it, and I want to, or if I try and do something that they narratively decided I couldn't do, or they just didn't think about, then not just for me, for people playing the game, they're gonna be like, man, fuck.
It's
and
like-
now they have to do
It's like
their
going
option
to
B.
Disneyland and having it be like not. It's still cool, but it's not as expansive as you remember when you were younger.
It's like, why don't you go to Disneyland,
you
but
go-
your parents take you to Legoland? You're just like,
This is the feeling
I mean, I like Legos, but shit,
Fucking Knott's Berry Farms. That
Oh
shit's
God!
that's even worse.
Which you're Seriously,
Low
you're
tier theme
almost at
park.
Disneyland, but you're like,
Low
nah.
tier Disneyland.
Low tier, man. Fuck it, I've been not very
Well,
far.
I was really kind of saying like how everything at Disneyland has to be a little bit smaller, and I really like. I really like the new.
Hey, I fit fine, okay?
Yeah.
I fit into those Pooh Bear honey pots.
Dude,
fine.
I don't. The Winnie the Pooh ride, I'm not exaggerating. When you go on the Winnie the Pooh ride, not exaggerating, I have to sit like this.
It's true. It's a great ride, so he puts up with it. But
They're like, the bar is here, and I'm like, okay.
It's funny.
But that
It's
ride's
really
worth it
funny.
because Winnie the Pooh was an LSD trip halfway through the ride.
It's a really
Yeah, I
ride.
believe it.
He goes through the Heffalump and Woozle, and
Yeah.
everything's all acid colored.
Oh, God.
Well, what I was,
And
what,
there's not usually a long line for it, so.
Because it's so fucking small.
you have to do
None
this
of
to
the
ride
dads
it.
can fit on it.
You cannot ride this if you are taller than this. You must be this short to ride this ride.
So the New Orleans area though, it's like one little corner. I really like that area. It looks cool, but like it's very small.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
like
just it
half a
reminds you.
street.
Yeah, it reminds you of a street that's really where you'd want to be, but it ends very quickly, and
You can walk past that area and not know it.
You can
I
kind
get
of.
what you're
It
saying.
sort of is not very. It's expanded upon, but it's not very expansive. So I feel like that's the feeling you can get when you're like, oh, I just thought of this thing I want to do, and then you try it, and the developer didn't think of it or explicitly didn't want you to do it. You feel limited in that same way, where there's a little bit of the joy is shaved off the top there. You're not as free as you thought you were, and it breaks the immersion.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's the problem.
You're not as free as you thought you were.
It's
It breaks
still
the
really
immersion
cool.
Is, I think the perfect way to
Yeah,
put it.
if they can reach a level of detail that is, as long as it's beyond what I'm gonna ask of it, then my immersion will feel it will feel infinite.
It's great when you play a game for the 1000th time and you see something that you didn't know was there, and you're like, oh, dude, I put like 300 hours
Still
into this
fresh.
game, and I didn't know that this
It's still
feature was
fresh,
there,
yeah.
and it's like,
Either
trying to think of an
A, you're an
example.
idiot and you don't know how to play the game, or B,
But there's like, it's not explicitly stated
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
times,
I
and it's just
understand.
like a way to solve a storytelling puzzle that you didn't come up with yourself. And it's like the fact that they went above and beyond and like think tanked this to this extent. You're like, dude, that's really cool. But when they're like, yes, here's what they're gonna decide, and they do this, and you're like, dude, I wanna. What if I send the spider robot and I have it blow up the door and it falls and kills the guy, and they're just like, oh, they didn't think of that.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
like
like
not
you've been given examples of, you like, maybe you saw someone crushed to death by a car, you're like, I'm gonna blow the hinges off his vault
But
door
then
and
you
it's gonna
can't for
fall and
this
kill
guy.
him. Yeah, and it's like when they think of something you can't do, then it's like,
So we'll see how that plays out, but there's a lot of room for that to happen.
Like,
There's a
so-
lot of room for them to avoid it.
someone's gonna come up with a thing like, dude, I'm gonna shoot this guy's leg off, and then I'm gonna use that and be like, I'll kill you if you don't give me the money.
Right.
And then someone's gonna be like, they're gonna do the bullet time slide, shoot the guy's leg off, and instead of going, fuck my legs, they've just decided that guy dies.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be
Yeah.
like, shit,
I
he's
want-
dead.
yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to use this, be like, I'll shoot your other kneecap unless
Well, actually,
you give
the
me
guy
the cred chip.
Oh yeah, the guy who's lost his legs, I think he probably would have died anyway. They did shoot his head off.
But it could be a situation where you're like, dude, I know I have this drug that like will save me from bleeding out,
I don't know
and
if
you
they
can be
had
like.
that. Yeah, maybe they do.
But you could be like, all right, you shoot this guy in the kneecap, and you'd be like, you'll die unless I give you this. Give me the information.
as long as they're
And you're
consistent.
gonna shoot the guy, and he's gonna die.
As long as they're consistent and they do a lot of work in other areas, one thing missing isn't so bad.
Mhm.
It's when you start to get really noticeable stuff, like because there's a lot of it, or like it's really relevant to what I'm doing.
I feel like sandbox is always the wrong term because sandboxes are fucking small.
This is
even when you're a kid and you're a sandbox, you're just like, okay,
okay.
a 2-year-old
Fine,
can touch
it's-
everything.
Life's a beach, okay.
But like when you're in a sandbox, it is a confined experience, and you understand what you can.
The
and
idea
cannot
of
do.
sandbox is to be like you can build what you want,
But
not
you
the
wanna
size
feel
of the
it-
sandbox.
No, like if we're using the analogy of a child playing with something, you want to feel like a kid on a playground. You want to be like, "Dude, I could spend
yeah,
fucking
a playground
hours
is a giant
here."
sandbox with a jungle gym in it.
Exactly. You want to feel like a kid in a jungle gym. You don't want to feel like a kid in a sandbox.
You don't put any jungle gyms in a sandbox, so you just build whatever you want there. You know what, Steven? You're just wrong.
No, kids are gonna get bored of a sandbox after like 2 hours. You can put a fucking toddler in a jungle gym and he'll be there for weeks.
That's only because we have video games now. Back in the 50s, sandbox was like
Back in
hours
the
and
50s,
hours
Jerry's,
of fun.
the number one child game was called farming. Like just child labor.
Child labor
Yeah.
was the number one game.
That was the number one game for
There
kids.
was no gaming because you were in the mines coughing up coal dust at
I don't
8.
think it,
The
I don't think that
50s?
happened that
No, it was banned by
the
then.
1910s or
Probably
something.
at
Either
church
way.
or something.
Church.
Yeah.
No one game for kids was called Church. But so you want to feel like they have thought more than you have, and you don't want to feel like that, like your first idea, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this," and then it doesn't work, and you're like, "What?"
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, I can double jump. I'm gonna double jump up to that balcony I saw the guy smoking a cigarette on and go through the window, and there's an invisible wall or something."
Yeah, that's annoying.
Right?
As long as you go up there and like you just can't open the window or something, I'd be like, well, at least I can go up here and look.
So it's really good, like, think of games like Dishonored, and especially, like, Payday, they put you in situations, and they're like, we've put a bunch of narrative elements into this structure, into this mission, but GTA, you can do whatever you want, and it's like, just fucking do it.
You can do quite a bit.
But so when they add a storytelling element to it, where it's like, you can go in peacefully, you can go in sneaky, you can go
That's
in
what
like
they
that,
did here,
so,
yeah.
exactly like what they did here, someone's gonna come up with something, and if they don't have that thought of and more, you're going to disappoint a lot of people.
I'm going to hope that the development cycle that is so huge means that they have a enormous 55-gallon drum of polish that they're going to just dump all over this thing, and that's one of those things that will get polished off.
Because
eventually, it could be like 5 years in, they're like, this module, this one quest is just not working because this sort of stuff we're doing here isn't believable enough. It's falling apart. Let's remove this, or let's excise it, or let's change it to this, or something.
I'm gonna
that
compare
polish,
it,
I hope, will fix all of those problems.
You
So we
can
won't
always
have any-
fix it with polish after the fact, yeah.
But I don't want it to be after release. So I'm hoping it's before
Oh,
release,
yeah, yeah.
meaning the game comes out
Just like
very
play
well,
testing, yeah.
very well refined.
I'm gonna compare it to The Witcher 3, their last huge game. In The Witcher 3, you really don't run into the problems I'm talking about, because the storytelling problems in The Witcher 3, his swords are in their sheath. You're not in combat already. So yeah, there's gonna be in situations where it's like, Geralt will be like, fine, here's the diamonds. Or Geralt will be like, no, I'm not going to give you the diamonds. Or option C is behead him or something. Like, those are situations you can get in, just like they showed when you can choose when to draw your weapon and stuff like that. But the decisions being made, there's storytelling and there's combat. And it looks like in this game they're trying to meld them.
Yeah,
and
no, it's definitely being attempted here.
If they don't put enough options for the player to do, you're going to feel restricted. It's going to feel opposite. It's going to feel like you're on a leash.
I'm
And
just
they're
gonna
going to be
cross
like,
my
no,
fingers.
you got to come this way. And you're like, but I want to go that way.
Let's just hope that it does come out good, but I think we'll just have to keep our eye on the upcoming media that they release to see what direction it's going. Because I think this was a big show for one group, and then they might try to round it out with showing off other things that appeal to, say, the RPG crowd or other aspects.
Because they released a super fire trailer in like 2013.
Yes.
Cinematic, and then you didn't hear shit until
For like 3 years.
E3. No, it was like 4 years.
No, you heard a little bit after they first announced it for a little while.
Yeah.
And then they just went quiet.
Well, it
and
was
then
something
there was
like
that little Twitter beep, and then they went to E3 like a few months later.
from that beep to their last tweet, which was them like retweeting like their like most hyped game of the year from some publication. There was 4 years between. Like silence.
They were just sitting there like developing the whole time.
And so the fact that they're trying to basically meld the elements of, again, in Witcher 3, you'd have Geralt talking to someone,
ambitious.
and you would have Geralt, which was essentially a cutscene, and you would have Geralt fighting with his swords in third person.
It's just,
and now that you're combining all of this in first person, in immersion, you need to be, the storytelling and the gameplay need to go together. And if the player is able to come up with a scenario or an outcome that they want to achieve, and the game doesn't allow them to do that,
right?
Like,
you'll feel trapped.
That takes stars off of a rating. Like, that can take a 5-star game to a 2-star game. If that's even the only problem with it,
really huge.
because it kills your whole experience of the game. And you're just
it
like...
depends on how prevalent that is. If it happens once
If it happens once or twice, you can ignore it. But if the whole game is like that,
I don't think they would, in this day and age, I don't think this company would produce a game like that.
It's possible. The fact is, they didn't prove
they haven't,
me wrong in this
explicitly,
video.
Yeah, they haven't explicitly
right?
shown that it's not going to happen. But at the same time, there's still also a lot of room for them to do really well.
And if they release a video of like RPG stuff or another gameplay reveal in like, I don't know, 6 months or in a year or something that's like, hey, here's all this stuff that you were worried about, cool.
Yeah, so we'll find out. We'll
but
have
these
to
could
keep
still
our eye
just
on
be
it.
question marks, until the game comes out.
I see the point you're raising.
I still want to. I was like Jose, like I wasn't hyped for this because I didn't know anything about it. Right?
Yeah. This is like the first real look we've had at
I
it.
can't be hyped over something I don't know anything about, and it's like, so now we get the first look at it, and yeah, I want to play this. It looks cool, but like Jose, the first 10 minutes, I was like, What am I getting out of this that I couldn't get out of Deus
Yeah,
Ex, that I couldn't
right.
get out of Metal Gear Solid, that I couldn't... It's the Anthem thing. Why play this when I can go play better versions?
Well, then let's start playing the waiting game, and we'll have
How do you
to we'll just have to see what comes next. And we'll have
Is
to
that
wait.
that movie you're talking
We'll
about
just
with
have to move
what's-his-face?
on from this to the
What are
next
the
item.
rules?
The rules are start.
You have to watch Waiting
you-
every single day until
First you
the
watch
game
Free
comes
Willy.
out.
You watch Groundhog Day until the game releases.
Oh God.
No, I guess we just have to. This is all we can say. We have to move on and wait for the next thing to come out.
I guess.
pretty
Let's
much
move on to Jerry ordering some fucking pizza. Yeah! Got him.